My wife and I were tired of tripping over shoes, so I built this. It looks good, it's not that hard to build, and it keeps everything organized.
Welcome back to Every Other Carl. I'm Carl, and today I'm making a surprisingly cheap built-in mudroom. Check it out.
This is a bit of a useless spot in our basement right now, so I turned it into a professional blueprint and headed over to Lowe's. A couple pieces of 11 3/4 inch pine board and a couple pieces of nicer 16-inch edge-glued softwood panels. Those, along with some 1 by 2 inch pine trim, would make up the pretty bits of this mudroom. The stronger skeleton of the bench and less noticeable parts of the shelf would be made of 3/4 inch plywood. The bench itself is actually doubled up, a piece of 3/4 inch ply with one of those edge-glued panels on top. I screwed them together from underneath. I also got these simple pine corbels at Home Depot. They're literally $1.82 a piece, and they add a lot of character. I also popped on 6 coat hooks, which were about $7 a piece. Before I built anything, I wanted to add some character to the wall as well. This is a piece of beadboard paneling. I'm going to use this on the wall before I put up my bench and shelving. This was actually my wife's idea, and I love how it looks. Truth be told, this whole project was actually my wife's idea. With the beadboard brad nailed to the wall, I could start laying out the pieces.
So my wife and I picked 3 different sample colors of stain, and we decided we're going to go with this English chestnut. It actually matches our floors and stairs pretty well, so this might carry into the rest of the house. This is a water-based stain, and it dries very quickly, in about an hour. I'm probably going to be using a water-based polyurethane to go over everything after it's done. So water-based stain and a water-based polyurethane, those dry pretty quickly together. I built the majority of the bench and the shelving before staining it, but I want to stain the inside of that shelf before I nail everything together and trim it out. It's going to be a lot easier that way. A lot of that is plywood, and I'm going to sand down that plywood. I'm starting with 100 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to move to a 220. That's going to make staining it a whole lot easier. Alright, time to stain. Alright, it's all stained. Now I'm going to hit it with some water-based polyurethane. Alright, I put 3 coats of polyurethane inside this cabinet. Now it's time to put in the shelves for real. Alright, all the shelves are in. Everything is polyurethane that needs to be polyurethane at this point. Now I can finally finish trimming it out. As I trim, I'm going to stain each piece of trim before I put it on, and then polyurethane it afterwards.
Time for the hooks. I'm gonna do 2 in each bay here. My sister is an artist, and she made us this beautiful wood-burned mirror, which is a great finishing touch for this little area. I'm very happy my wife suggested this build. It's functional, and it gives this space some real meaning. For final costs, here's the breakdown. 16-inch edge-glued panels, $72. 11 3/4 pine boards, $70. 3/4 plywood, $120. 1x2 pine trim, $55. Beadboard panels, $60. 6 coat hooks, $42. 3 pine corbels, $6. Black cabinetry screws to hold the back panel in place because those screws are visible. I wanted them to look good, $10. Stain, $20. Polyurethane, $24. Miscellaneous items like brad nails and screws, $20. And that brings us to a grand total of $499. Now, I know I have plenty of power tools, but this is the kind of project you can do with a basic set. A circular saw, a jigsaw, and a drill would be the absolute minimum for power tools, in my opinion. If you have a finished nail gun, a miter saw, and a power sander, that'll make your life a lot easier. But yeah, this is not the hardest carpentry job. You can do it. I'll leave a few links in the description to some of the tools and materials that I've used, and while you're down there, you can check out some of my other builds, and maybe subscribe if you're interested. In case you're wondering, the full height of the shelf here is 72.5 inches, so just over 6 feet. Each of the shoe shelves is just about 6 inches. I found that to be a great height to get your hands in there and pull each one of those shoes out. The width of the shelves is 15.5 inches. That's just enough to get 2 pairs per shelf. Underneath the bench here and this bottom shelf, that's 17.25 inches of space, which is good to get taller boots and even ski boots in. I do a lot of ski videos on this channel. And that gives the top of the bench a height of just under 19 inches. Between 18 and 19 inches is a great height for sitting on. The full width of the entire setup is 78.5 inches. The depth of the bench here is 16.75 inches. Now, a lot of mudroom setups actually have a base platform that everything is screwed into, but I actually wanted the floor to continue underneath the bench here. I thought it would make it easier for cleaning out, and it would just kind of make a uniform look. Up for debate if that was the best idea or not. You can do whatever you want, but one thing that did create was that these bench supports are not adhered to the floor up front here. So what I do have is I have strong blocks attached to the wall in the back, and they are attached firmly to the underside of the bench. This is that piece of plywood that is sandwiched with a piece of edge-glued panel on top. I like how these 2-inch wide pieces of trim make all the wood look a lot more substantial than it is. This would have been 3/4 plywood, but instead it's got 2 inches of thickness here. We also made the choice not to finish off this side of the bench with another panel because having it open like this really kind of opens up the room and opens you up to the staircase without having a little wall there. All right, I'm calling that officially done. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below. If you like the video, please subscribe. And until next time, I'm every other Carl, and I'll see ya.